why you keep seeing angel numbers, the truth about synchronicities. You wake up, glance at your phone, and it's 11:11. You go to grab a coffee, and your total is $4.44. Later, you check your emails, and there are exactly 222 unread messages. At first, you dismiss it as coincidence. But then it keeps happening. The same numbers, over and over again, appearing in places that seem too calculated to be random. It's almost as if the universe is whispering something to you, trying to get your attention. But what is it trying to say? Is it just your mind playing tricks on you, or is there something deeper going on? Could it be that these numbers are guiding you towards something greater than yourself, something beyond your current understanding of reality? The truth is, when you start noticing angel numbers, it's because a shift is happening in your consciousness. You are no longer moving through life unconsciously, merely reacting to things as they happen. Instead, you are waking up to the hidden patterns of the universe. Numbers are one of the fundamental languages of reality. Everything, from the way galaxies spiral to the way our DNA is structured, follows numerical patterns. And when you start seeing repeating numbers, it means you are becoming attuned to these deeper patterns. It's like tuning into a radio frequency that was always there, but you just weren't aware of it before.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
But here's where it gets interesting. Most people think angel numbers are just cute little signs from the universe, like cosmic winks letting you know you're on the right path. While that's partially true, it's only scratching the surface. What if I told you that seeing angel numbers is actually a test of your awareness, your willingness to listen, and your ability to act on the guidance being given to you? Because here's the thing, synchronicities are not just signs, they are invitations. They are the universe's way of saying, are you paying attention? Are you ready to step into a higher level of awareness? Are you going to take action, or are you going to ignore this and continue living the same way you always have? Think about it. If you keep seeing the same numbers over and over again and you do nothing about it, what happens? Eventually they stop appearing, not because they weren't real, but because you failed to engage with them. The universe speaks to those who listen, but it does not waste its voice on those who refuse to hear. So the real question is, what do you do when you start seeing angel numbers? Do you just smile and move on with your day? Or do you stop and ask yourself, what am I being called to do? What am I being asked to change? What message am I not willing to hear? Because here's something most people don't realize: synchronicities are not always pleasant. Sometimes they appear to shake you awake, to disrupt your complacency, to push you towards something uncomfortable but necessary. If you keep seeing 555, for example, it often means big changes are coming. But change is not always easy. It might mean you have to leave a relationship that no longer serves you. It might mean you have to quit the job that's been draining your soul. It might mean you have to confront a truth about yourself that you've been avoiding. And this is where most people get stuck. They love the idea of angel numbers when it's comforting, but they resist it when it demands something from them. But make no mistake, every synchronicity you experience is a doorway. You can choose to walk through it, or you can choose to ignore it. But the more you ignore it, the harder the universe will push. This is why some people experience intense periods of synchronicities right before major life upheavals. It's as if the universe is screaming at them, trying to get them to see what they have been refusing to acknowledge. So, let me ask you, what have you been ignoring? What truth has been trying to reveal itself to you, but you've been too afraid to face it? What change have you been resisting, even though deep down you know it's exactly what you need. Because I promise you this, if you are seeing angel numbers, it is not random, it is precise, it is intentional, and it is asking something of you. The only question is, are you willing to listen? The hidden code of the universe, why nothing is random. Have you ever considered the possibility that reality itself is a language? That everything you see, hear, and experience is part of an intricate code, a pattern woven so deeply into existence that most people never even realize it's there? When you start seeing angel numbers, you are glimpsing this hidden code. You are beginning to perceive the mathematical structure behind reality, the way everything is connected in ways that defy ordinary logic. This is not just a spiritual idea, it is backed by science, by quantum physics, by the very fabric of the universe itself. Think about this: everything in existence can be broken down into numbers. Your DNA is encoded in a sequence of numbers. Music, which moves us on a deep emotional level, follows mathematical ratios and frequencies. The orbit of planets, the spiral of galaxies, the way trees grow, everything follows precise numerical patterns. Pythagoras, the ancient Greek philosopher, believed that numbers were the fundamental truth of reality, that everything could be understood through their patterns. And he was right. Now, let's take this a step further. If everything is part of a mathematical code, then synchronicities, those moments when reality seems to be speaking directly to you, are not random. They are clues, signals from the deeper intelligence that underlies everything. When you see repeating numbers, it's like you are being shown a glitch in the matrix, a moment where the simulation reveals itself. It's as if the universe is whispering, "Look closer. There's more going on here than you realize." But here's where most people go wrong. They notice the numbers, they feel the magic of the moment, and then they go right back to their old habits, their old ways of thinking. They treat synchronicities like entertainment rather than as the profound messages they truly are. But what if I told you that every time you ignore a synchronicity, you are missing an opportunity to unlock a deeper level of reality? What if I told you that by paying attention, by truly engaging with these signs, you could begin to align yourself with the hidden intelligence of the universe? Because that is exactly what is happening. When you start noticing angel numbers, you are being invited into a higher state of awareness. You are being asked to participate in the unfolding of your own destiny rather than just drifting through life unconsciously. The more you pay attention, the more the signs appear. The more you follow them, the more they guide you toward exactly where you are meant to be. But here's the catch: you can't just observe, you have to act. You have to take the numbers seriously and ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? If you keep seeing 111, it's a sign that your thoughts are manifesting rapidly. So are you focusing on what you actually want, or are you letting fear and doubt dictate your reality? If you see 444, it's a sign that you are being supported by unseen forces. So are you trusting that support? Or are you still trying to control everything yourself? If you see 777, it means you are on the verge of a spiritual awakening. So, are you embracing that journey, or are you resisting it? Most people are afraid of this level of awareness because it demands responsibility. It demands that you stop blaming outside circumstances for your life and start realizing that you are co-creating your reality with the universe. That the thoughts you think, the actions you take, and the energy you put out are shaping your life in ways you may not fully understand. But once you do understand, you can never go back. Because once you realize that reality is alive, that it is intelligent, that it is speaking to you through numbers, symbols, and synchronicities, You can no longer pretend that you are powerless. So let me ask you, what if nothing in your life was random? What if every experience, every challenge, every moment of joy and pain was orchestrated to teach you something, to lead you somewhere? What if the numbers you keep seeing are not just coincidences, but markers on a path designed specifically for you? Would you start paying more attention? Would you start taking your intuition more seriously? Would you start trusting that maybe, just maybe, the universe is guiding you towards something far greater than you ever imagined? Because here's the truth: the moment you start seeing angel numbers is the moment you awaken to the hidden design of reality. It's the moment you realize that you are not just a passive observer of life, you are an active participant in its unfolding. And once you accept that, once you truly embrace the idea that nothing is random, your entire life begins to change. The choices you make become more intentional. The way you move through the world shifts. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start feeling like a creator of your own destiny. And that is the ultimate secret of angel numbers. They are not just signs, they are invitations to step into a higher level of consciousness. They are a call to align yourself with the flow of the universe, to move in harmony with the deeper intelligence that governs all things. But the question is, are you willing to answer that call? Or will you keep dismissing the signs, pretending they are just coincidences, refusing to see the truth that is right in front of you? Because I promise you this: once you open your eyes, once you start truly paying attention, you will never see the world the same way again. The illusion of coincidence, why everything is leading you somewhere. Have you ever wondered if all the moments in your life, even the ones that seemed completely insignificant, were actually stepping stones leading you towards something greater? What if that random encounter on the street, that book you picked up without thinking, that song that played at just the right time, what if none of it was random? What if every choice, every experience, every so-called coincidence was part of a larger design, a script being written by an intelligence far beyond our comprehension? When you start seeing angel numbers, you are being given a glimpse into this design. It's as if the curtain is being pulled back just enough for you to see that something is orchestrating your life in ways you never imagined. But here's where most people struggle. They resist this idea because it challenges everything they've been taught. We live in a world that tells us life is chaotic, that things happen randomly, that luck is just a matter of chance. But deep down, you've always known that wasn't true. Think about the most pivotal moments in your life. Can you honestly say they were just accidents? That the people who shaped you, the dreams that called to you, the obstacles that forced you to grow, can you really say they were meaningless? Or do you feel, even if you can't fully explain it, that something was guiding you the whole time? That somehow everything was unfolding exactly as it needed to, even when it didn't make sense in the moment? This is why synchronicities occur. They are the universe's way of confirming that you are on a path, even when you can't see the destination. They are like cosmic breadcrumbs, leading you towards something your soul already knows, but your mind has yet to grasp. And the more you pay attention, the more they appear. It's not because the universe suddenly starts sending them, it's because you finally start noticing them. They were always there, waiting for you to wake up. But here's the paradox: the more you try to control the meaning of synchronicities, the less you actually understand them. Most people, when they start seeing angel numbers, immediately search for an answer. They go online, look up meanings, try to force an interpretation. And while there is value in understanding general meanings, the truth is that synchronicities are deeply personal. The same number could mean something entirely different to two different people. Why? Because the universe doesn't speak in rigid definitions, it speaks in symbols, in feelings, in patterns that only you can truly decode. So instead of asking, "What does this number mean?" the better question is, "What is this number making me feel? What is it trying to draw my attention to in my life?" Because numbers are just the surface, the real message lies underneath. Maybe 333 keeps showing up, not because it has some fixed meaning, but because every time you see it, you remember a certain thought, a certain dream, a certain realization that you've been ignoring. Maybe 888 appears to remind you of your potential, of the abundance you keep pushing away, because deep down, you're afraid of what would happen if you actually stepped into your power. And this is where the real magic happens. When you stop looking for external validation and start listening to your own intuition, you begin to realize that you've always known the answers, that the messages have always been inside you, waiting for you to trust them. This is why angel numbers keep appearing, because you are being asked to trust yourself, to trust that there is something guiding you, even when you don't have all the answers. But here's the catch: trusting the signs is not the same as becoming dependent on them. Some people get stuck in a loop, obsessing over numbers, waiting for a sign before making every decision. But that's not how this works. The universe doesn't want you to live in a constant state of seeking confirmation. The numbers are there to nudge you, to awaken you, but you still have to act. You still have to make choices, take risks, step into the unknown. If you wait for a sign before every move, you are not trusting, you are hesitating. And hesitation is the enemy of growth. Instead, use synchronicities as a mirror. When you see them, ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my highest self? Am I following the path that excites my soul? Or am I settling for comfort and familiarity? Because the truth is, angel numbers don't just appear when everything is going well, they often show up most intensely when you are at a crossroads, when you are standing on the edge of transformation but haven't yet taken the leap. They are there to remind you that you are not alone, that you are being guided, but they will not make the leap for you. That part is yours to do. And this is where most people falter. They want the universe to give them guarantees. They want a sign so clear, so undeniable, that they won't have to risk anything. But that's not how growth works. The universe will give you signs, but it will not remove the need for faith. Because faith is the key that activates everything. Without faith, a synchronicity is just a coincidence. With faith, it becomes a doorway to something greater. So let me ask you, how much of your life are you living in fear? How many times have you seen a sign, felt the pull of something greater, and then talked yourself out of it because it didn't seem practical, because it didn't come with a guarantee? How many moments of magic have you ignored, writing them off as just a coincidence because you were too afraid to believe that maybe, just maybe, life is more mysterious and intelligent than you ever imagined? Because here's the truth: the universe is always speaking. The question is, are you listening? Not just casually, not just when it's convenient, but truly listening. Are you willing to follow the signs even when they lead you into the unknown? Even when they ask you to leave behind the familiar? Even when they challenge everything you thought you knew? Because if you are truly ready to trust the path that is unfolding before you, then I promise you, the universe will take you places beyond your wildest dreams. But you must be willing to step forward, even without all the answers. You must be willing to embrace the mystery, to surrender to the flow, to stop demanding certainty and start embracing possibility. Because once you do that, once you truly surrender to the signs, to the synchronicities, to the intelligence that is guiding your life, you will realize that you were never lost, that every detour, every delay, every so-called mistake was actually leading you exactly where you were meant to be. And that, my friend, is the greatest truth of all. Aligning with the flow, how to use synchronicities to unlock your true destiny. What if I told you that your life was never meant to be a struggle? That the universe is not working against you, but is actually conspiring in your favor? That every synchronicity, every repeating number, every seemingly random event is a piece of a larger puzzle, guiding you toward the life you were always meant to live? The only thing that stands between you and that life is your resistance, the belief that you must control everything, that you must have all the answers before you take the next step. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if the key to unlocking your true destiny is not in controlling, but in surrendering? Synchronicities are the language of the universe, the way reality speaks to those who are willing to listen. When you start seeing angel numbers, it's not just a sign that you are awakening, it's an invitation to step fully into the flow of life. But what does that actually mean? It means learning to trust that the path is unfolding exactly as it should, even when you can't see the whole picture. It means letting go of the need for certainty and embracing the unknown. It means understanding that the more you align with your true self, the version of you that is fearless, limitless, and deeply connected to your purpose, the more the universe will respond. Most people live their lives fighting against the flow. They resist change, they cling to comfort, they ignore their intuition because they are afraid of what it might demand of them. But here's the thing, the more you resist, the harder life becomes. The more you try to force things to happen according to your own limited understanding, the more you struggle. But when you finally stop resisting, when you start trusting the signs, following the nudges, allowing yourself to be guided, everything begins to shift. And doors that once seemed closed suddenly open. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. The right people, the right circumstances, the right insights arrive at the perfect time. It's not magic, it's alignment. So how do you align with the flow? How do you use synchronicities to unlock your true destiny? The first step is awareness. Pay attention to what is happening around you. Notice the numbers that keep appearing, the patterns that keep repeating, the messages that life is trying to send you. But don't just passively observe, engage with them. When you see angel numbers, don't just acknowledge them and move on. Pause, reflect, ask yourself, what was I thinking about when I saw this? What decision am I facing right now? What fear is holding me back? The numbers are not separate from your life, they are woven into it, responding to your energy in real time. The second step is trust. It's one thing to notice the signs, but it's another thing entirely to act on them. And this is where most people hesitate. They see the synchronicities, they feel the pull, but then their rational mind takes over. What if this is just a coincidence? What if I'm making this up? What if I follow this feeling and it leads me nowhere? But here's the truth, the universe does not waste energy. If you are seeing the signs, it is because you are meant to see them. If you feel called toward something, it is because that path is meant for you. The only thing that ever stops you is doubt. The third step is action. The universe can give you all the signs in the world, but if you don't act on them, nothing changes. If you keep seeing 111, but you continue to entertain negative thoughts, you are ignoring the message. If you keep seeing 555, but you refuse to embrace change, you are resisting the very transformation that is trying to take place. Synchronicities are not passive, they are calls to move, to shift, to step into a new version of yourself. So when you see the signs, ask yourself, what action is this asking me to take? Then take it, even if it scares you, even if you don't know where it will lead, because that is the essence of faith, not waiting for guarantees, but moving forward with the knowing that you are being guided. And here's the most important part: once you start aligning with the flow, life stops feeling like a constant struggle. This doesn't mean you will never face challenges, but it does mean that you will start handling them differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as punishments, you will see them as lessons. Instead of fearing change, you will welcome it. Instead of feeling lost, you will begin to trust that even when you don't know exactly where you're going, you are always exactly where you need to be. Because that is the ultimate truth: you were never lost. You were never off track. Every experience, every mistake, every detour was part of the journey. And the moment you start listening, truly listening to the signs that are guiding you, you will realize that life has been speaking to you all along. The only question is, are you ready to listen? Are you ready to trust? Are you ready to finally step into the life that was meant for you? Because if you are truly ready to embrace the flow, to follow the signs, to let go of control and trust that the universe has your back, then prepare yourself. Because once you do, once you truly surrender to the wisdom that is guiding you, life will never be the same again.